Every morning, farmers in Spain face growing concern instead of the peace that should come with dawn. Across their carefully tended fields, deep tracks of wild boars can be seen, a reminder of the constant damage caused by these animals. Despite efforts with traps and fences, the attacks continue with increasing intensity. To address this problem, organized hunting teams operate with the goal of restoring balance to the land. At first light, groups of hunters move carefully into the forests, prepared for a demanding task. Trained dogs are released to track the scent of wild boars, and soon the chase begins. When the animals suddenly burst from cover, hunters rely on steady focus and precision. A well-placed shot can quickly bring down the boar, preventing further damage to farmland. These encounters highlight the experience and discipline required in controlling such a dangerous species. Strategic positioning plays an important role. By moving to higher ground, hunters gain a clear view of the terrain, making it easier to observe movements below. From there, ambush tactics are often used, ensuring that the animals are intercepted before they can escape into dense cover. The chase can stretch across long hours under the blazing sun. Each moment demands alertness, as wild boars are fast, aggressive, and armed with sharp tusks that make them formidable opponents. When surrounded by hunting dogs, the hunters act quickly, eliminating the threat before it escalates. Every successful strike means temporary relief for nearby villages, where crops and livelihoods are at stake. But the challenge rarely ends with a single hunt. As the day progresses, more wild boars emerge from thick vegetation, forcing the teams to continue their pursuit. Some hunters take hidden positions, patiently waiting in silence for the right opportunity. When a boar appears, a precise shot can decide the outcome within seconds. Such actions restore a sense of safety to farming communities that have endured constant losses. As daylight fades, the pursuit does not immediately stop. Wild boars, desperate to escape, race across rocky paths. But persistence and coordination ensure that the chase eventually comes to an end. Each fallen boar represents not just a hunt completed but also protection for crops, livestock, and human lives. The battle against wild boars is not only a matter of tradition but also a necessity. These animals are responsible for millions of dollars in agricultural losses each year. They ravage crops, uproot soil, and fearlessly invade farmland. Left unchecked, they spread destruction across entire regions. For this reason, hunts are carried out with determination and discipline. Teams set out before dawn, moving to strategic positions and relying on both skill and patience. When wild boars appear, swift action ensures that the balance of the land is maintained. This cycle of pursuit and protection continues, as hunters face the ongoing challenge of defending farmlands from one of the most destructive invasive species in the world. The battle against wild boars has long been a serious challenge in many agricultural regions. These animals, highly adaptable and resilient, are known to cause widespread destruction. They tear through fertile farmland, damage crops, and destabilize ecosystems, resulting in economic losses that can reach tens of millions of dollars annually. In certain areas, teams are mobilized to manage their population and prevent further damage. Organized groups set up positions across fields and forested zones, working carefully to track and intercept the animals. In dense jungles, hunters rely on trained dogs to alert them to the presence of wild boars. The barking signals the exact location, giving teams the chance to act swiftly. Encounters often unfold quickly. As the animals break cover, marksmen aim for precision, ensuring that each shot is fast and effective. The goal is to bring the animal down cleanly, preventing suffering while protecting the surrounding farmland. Coordinated efforts from multiple directions create a wide perimeter, increasing the likelihood of success. At dawn, activity intensifies. As the first light of day spreads across the fields, teams position themselves strategically. After long periods of silence, sudden movements in the brush reveal the presence of large wild boars. Some can weigh hundreds of pounds, making them powerful and potentially dangerous if left uncontrolled. When herds appear, they often scatter rapidly once disturbed, forcing hunters to respond with speed and accuracy. While many escape into the undergrowth, some are intercepted. Careful coordination through radio communication allows the teams to track fleeing animals, ensuring that the effort covers wide areas effectively. In open terrain, wild boars are easier to spot. They emerge in groups, digging up the soil and damaging crops with their sharp hooves. Quick reactions from the hunters limit the destruction by reducing the number of animals before they vanish back into cover. At times, single individuals are pursued as they attempt to break away, with trained hunters acting decisively to prevent escape. The operations highlight the scale of the problem. New South Wales, often described as an agricultural lifeline, generates billions of dollars annually in food production. Yet, the invasion of wild boars has placed this region under severe strain. Without intervention, the damage could grow beyond control. Population management through controlled hunts remains one of the most direct responses to this crisis. By reducing the number of wild boars in farmlands and forests, the risk to crops, livestock, and ecosystems is significantly lowered. While the process is demanding, it serves a vital purpose: to restore balance and safeguard agricultural stability for the communities that depend on it. As night settled over the fields, the environment grew still, with only the sound of footsteps pressing into the grass. Suddenly, a wild boar burst out from the undergrowth, fleeing in desperation. It had chosen the wrong path. A shot echoed across the darkness, and the animal collapsed into the tall grass. Encounters like this have become increasingly common in many rural areas. Wild boars, while highly adaptable and resilient, are also known for causing significant agricultural damage. They frequently raid crop fields, uproot plants, and in some cases threaten smaller livestock. Farmers in affected regions often spend their mornings checking their land and animals with concern, knowing the potential risk these animals pose. To address this growing challenge, communities sometimes organize coordinated efforts to reduce boar populations in areas where they cause the most harm. In one such effort, a team began their work at dawn, carefully planning routes through a nearby forest. The group split into smaller units, each covering a different path to increase the chances of spotting the animals. Through binoculars, a herd of wild boars was observed running in the distance. Since they remained far away, the team held their fire, waiting for a clearer opportunity. Soon, one straggler lagged behind. A carefully aimed shot brought it down, marking the start of the operation. Deeper within the forest, the atmosphere grew tense and heavy with anticipation. The hunters knew that patience and steady focus were their greatest tools in such dense terrain, where every sound and movement carried meaning. Careful observation of the ground revealed subtle signs: a faint trail pressed into the soil, branches bent in passing, or the distant rustle of leaves in the cold air. Finally, from the cover of tangled vegetation, another wild boar emerged. A single, well-placed shot brought it down swiftly, demonstrating not only technical skill but also the discipline required to seize each opportunity with precision. The silence did not last long. Moments later, a sudden rustling in the undergrowth broke the stillness, growing louder as branches snapped under force. In an instant, an entire herd burst through the dense vegetation, charging forward with surprising speed and power. The hunters reacted immediately, raising their rifles in unison. A series of carefully measured shots rang out, halting the advance and ensuring that the operation remained under control. These intense moments illustrated the unpredictable nature of hunting in thick forests, where visibility is limited. Threats can appear suddenly, and every decision must be made in a fraction of a second. Such encounters underscore the challenges of managing wild boar populations in regions where they have become increasingly problematic. With their remarkable adaptability and rapid breeding rates, wild boars can multiply quickly, overwhelming both farmland and local ecosystems if unchecked. The damage they inflict is not limited to destroyed crops. They also threaten livestock, disturb natural habitats, and disrupt the delicate balance between wildlife and human communities. For this reason, operations of this kind are often considered essential. They are not pursued merely as acts of hunting, but as deliberate and coordinated measures to protect agricultural livelihoods and restore stability to the environment. By combining patience, teamwork, and decisive action, hunters help safeguard farmland from devastation, shield livestock from harm, and ensure that local ecosystems are preserved for the future.